Hello everyone and welcome back to Bachokodo Streams. Today I'll be continuing on with these dudesters right here. Some more base coding and see how far we can get. What's going on with you? How are you feeling today on this Tuesday day, evening, lunchtime, or whatever time it is? Anything of new? Anything of old, anything at all that you would like to share? How you doing? Starting off with the metallics. See how far we can take it. There. The autofocus before I forget. Using a big rush again and right off. I did manage to put in a little bit extra painting time and went ahead and just painted the shoes as well, because why not? They need to get done either way. In case you were looking, you were anticipating some painting of shoes, well, I'm going to disappoint you here. And this time for the metallics, I'm not going to base coat them in the way that I previously did it, with a mix of metallic, medium, and black. Just going straight for the dark silver on the Procro range, because I think it does an excellent job at that. And also the way I started treating the metallics, this actually helps out quite a bit. Nothing fancy or anything, but I think the end result is kind of okay. Hopefully this time I'll go a little bit more careful with the varnish. and have a thin layer of it instead of cacking it on. Is the way I actually did it. I'll probably use the airbrush that I realized is still operational somehow. And I think that might be a game changer, specifically for the varnishing stage. I'm not 100% on other possible applications, but we'll see. Time will tell. So again, I doubt there will be anything particularly riveting and interesting to happen today, but still, it is. Actually, can't decide whether or not to consider base coating a boring stage or not, because while it is, well, as basic as the name suggests, it is the part of the process that gives out the quickest result. So it is the fastest way to actually see your model take some sort of shape, color-wise, see how it's gonna turn out. And it's fairly quick gratification. And quite frankly, I kind of really enjoy it. I don't know, let me know if this stage is super boring to you. If it is, I might think of something to sort of avoid it for future projects. I'll try and find the time off stream. Because it's not really displaying any techniques here or anything, it's just literally lapping down a little bit of color to prepare for the following stages. And yeah, I will start off with the bases just because they are fairly large surface, and leaving it the last doesn't usually translate too well because I'm usually more tired or at the same time more excited about the completion of the project or any stage that it may have been at. Here you can see once again the issues I'm having with the primer. For whatever reason, but again, nothing that cannot be corrected or overcome, but it is a little bit of an annoyance. Maybe you're thinking, why the hell didn't he paint the bases before placing the model? And you would be absolutely correct to assume that this is me being suboptimal. But I kinda just like having the model as close to put together as possible when painting him, even if that will cause some issues along the way. It's a stupid preference and I should myself out of it, but hasn't happened yet. Also, would you look at the coverage of these metallics? I am so relieved they actually cover so well. And that is considering that I am still thinning them out a little bit before placing them on the model. And I really don't think that's necessary. But just a little bit of a precaution. Just a little bit of a habit type. Now the reason, sorry for starting with the bases, is that will prolong the time until I have to get to the trims. Is sadly the most annoying part of this whole project. Having to trace the trims. Because of the way I'm treating these, I have to go about 3 times over them, and that's waiting. This one seems a bit quicker to do. I keep over thinning as I am carrying over my habits from the Citadel paints, and I am wasting unnecessary time. But on the whole, no. I paint slowly as a rule, so lots a few brush strokes here and there extra. Also, yes, painting the shoes before the base was a stupid idea, because right now I will bleed all over them, but should be a quick fix. When I get to the stage of actually working the shoe. Yeah, this is much better than the Citadels. It's not even funny. As you have probably heard me moan time and time again about the metallics from the Citadel range, or, well, more likely my inability to effectively use them than their actual properties as paints. But these seem to be so much more conducive to my sort of natural approach. I'm just trying to say that I can get them to do what I want a lot easier. And a little bit of primer issues here. Go over it again though. Seems that sorry. Whenever I actually, wherever the primer went down a little on the thick side, it's actually repulsing the paint. So I probably need to start just applying the primer more lightly. As in fact I used to before. So this time in particular I tried to go for a more saturated approach for the primer and actually use a ruler to determine the suggested distance for priming. That actually made it worse. Somehow. Again, nothing that a few extra coats of paint won't fix. Still, it feels a little bit unnecessary, and it is an issue. No point of sugarcoating it. Not how it's supposed to be. I might need to go over these once again once they dry. Even though it's not really super necessary, considering that there will be a fierce washing stage for them. And the highlighting and other colors and other treatments that I have in store for the metallics won't really be affected by a not 100% smooth opaque coverage, so there's that. I'm going fairly simplistic for the bases. Okay, so here there isn't an abundance of primer, and yet we are having the same issue, so that theory out the window. Debunked. Again, that is, I believe, the translucent and splotchy layer to dry and go over it with more paint. So if the paint doesn't catch on the primer, it'll catch on itself. Not the best, but is it is a little bit of a workaround. And also considering that these models will all have 2 stages of varnishing, I am fairly confident that as long as the paint doesn't fall off on its own, it'll be well sealed at the end. And these will be reliably painted gaming miniatures. Because at the end of the day, that is what they are, or will be. I don't really have any any talking points for today. Apart from the fact that I'm still waiting for the Dragon Unicorns backer kit Pledge Manager to go live. They said something about the 28th, 29th, something along those lines. Either way, it should be this weekend. So looking forward to that. Seeing some of their other concept ideas for other gangs and other models. See what I'll end up picking up as extra. Because let's face it, I'm not just gonna be getting the basic 2-player starter set. There's no point even pretending that my willpower will save me from additional buying. But I do think that they will pay off in the future, as in they will see a lot of game outside of their own gaming system. And at the very least, since they are unique models, unique sculpts for each mini, and the whole concept is pretty freeing of any requirements for uniformity of the gangs. I can treat them as one-off models on in between projects, or when I get stuck in a certain project. As a palette cleanser, a little bit of a distraction, and then get back to it. So both for painting and for playing, they will have fairly significant use, and that's cool. They might find themselves as hired guns for Necromunda, forest pieces for an RPG. There are so many options. Style of the miniatures is fairly robust and fairly applicable to. They won't seem out of place. From what I've seen so far, that is. And I'm also anticipating the Dark Future Creations Kickstarter. They haven't posted any updates to their Instagram for a while. But I am most certainly looking forward to them, because they have another version of a very cool cyberpunk style aesthetic. And at least for now, I already seriously want the first model that they released. Was it Kirk or something? Because he will be perfect for a Goliath leader. He will fit right in with the gang. I do want to have a more instantly recognizable piece. And yes, I could convert dimmers and other models to that end. But I do like to introduce models from different ranges and sort of mix and match, try to adapt their styles into other ranges. The same way that I went about picking my models for the Ogres team for Blood Bowl. Going for a mix between scale models, like scale 75 models, and old War Machine stuff. Still haven't ordered them, and maybe I should, I don't know. I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more Careful in the coming months with any extra spendings, because it is the month of getting to take care of the car, and that's fairly expensive maintenance. Hello, Agent Orange. How you doing? Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, let's just hope that things get better. That being said, if you still want to share, or we can wait and do it live when we meet up. Oh, okay. Alrighty, okay. Sadly, not really that much to talk about here. Just still at the base coating stage. Off stream, I did get a little bit of extra time to paint the shoes. Just to have a little splotch of color on them to not forget what I want them to be in terms of colors. And now the tedious stage of painting all of the metallics, base coats. Actually, it went pretty well, and by pretty well, I mean really well. I had a lot of fun. The lady was wonderful, and hopefully we'll get to do it again. Thanks. Bit worried, of course, as usual, if I don't mess things up somehow. I think that's just the usual way to feel at this point. I'm going to try and treat the metallics the way I did for the previous model, which I really didn't get to do on stream. Just so happened that these stages I had the time to do off stream and in between, like over the weekend. So I'm starting things off a little bit differently. I'm not going through the mixed black with metallic medium stage, rather just going for a good solid coat of dark silver, and then we'll move on, because I think I managed to pick out the few layers of metallics that will give good contrast and then wash them down with transparent black instead of null oil. Because transparent black can do pretty much the same thing if used in a certain way as null oil, but it is much easier to control, and so it doesn't need necessarily stain things too darkly. And I hope to get a better overall result. Even though the ultra matte varnish will completely destroy any shine that the metallics had previously, so I have to make sure that they look contrasty enough in terms of paint without relying on the shine. So that'll be an interesting little challenge. See how that goes. I did start a new anime series to watch. Because I was looking for a sort of urban setting, not, if at all possible, not cool guy. Really well, that didn't take them long. Yeah, but these ones actually do have the released rules and stats for the 2016 edition. Whereas I don't think the nobles have or will have 2016 rules. Still though, very good on the Fumble guys to have been able to implement the new teams in so quickly. Yeah, hot. A lot of people, even not playing Blood Bowl, are looking at the models and are liking them very much for to fill out their bases for larger models, like make more scenic bases with some snotlings on them. So it seems to be a very successful idea to release these guys. I'm still not sure if they will be in any way super competitive on in a Blood Bowl game, but the models are definitely getting traction. And that's good, because it brings more people to look at the overall Blood Bowl range, and that's a decent thing. I did find some new Amazons. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it as well. From Fireforge. It's a a miniatures company I hadn't heard of before. And they only do have the Amazons, but they are pretty decent looking. I will try to make... yeah, okay, sure. They're pretty close in design, like the J models one. But they are decent looking models. Have you seen them? Oh, okay, okay. I haven't looked at the price really. I just thought they were neat. Oh, and there's a bus too. As a marker. 70 € for the full team. I don't know. They're but they are discounted from 99. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think they did. No, it doesn't show. Ah, there it is. Chronos, the big guy. Ooh, he looks nice. Yeah, definitely a cool dude. Nice looking sculpt. Yeah, do you want me to send you the link? Yeah, they are currently discounted. Yeah, I got you. I'll send you the link just to have. Although, right, since they are still not disclosed for the... I actually haven't had the chance to look through... Yeah, Succubus is always a good option. Oh, no worries. Because I'm still on the lookout for cooler Amazons, and because the ones that I got from Mantic, at least the line women that I'm using, the not the Nebulas but the other ones, the regular ones, seem, I think they will be very, very much smaller than they should be. Which is fine, but still, it could be better. Maybe put a little bit more paint. I've been looking at the new zones by RN Studio, and their concept, their idea is nice, but they only have a few models where you see that they are done with a good amount of idea behind them, with a good amount of effort, and the rest is just pick and choose, and as a result, most of the team doesn't look good. Some of the sculpts are nice, but some of them are just blah. Which is kind of a shame. And again, have you seen which teams have been released? Well, it's not as sad as as I make it out to be. They are following the style that they're going for. It's just, it doesn't really, the majority of them just don't appeal to me. It's just a personal thing, a personal preference, not really slamming on the models themselves. RN is Studio. They are the post-apocalyptic Mad Max looking ones. And also, it's pretty much impossible to tell apart the positionals. Like, it's... yeah. Did you go through the rulebook? Because I still haven't had the chance to. Alright. I think the more important thing is to check what teams are included. Just in case. Although someone from somewhere, and I have no idea where, who, or why. Yes, I do. Oh, why not? Like, why won't you need them? But yeah, if you don't like them, I will gladly take them off your hands. Oh, okay. Cool. I see, okay. Alrighty, great. Thank you for that, because I was thinking about it and looking for something appropriate, and I was actually considering whether or not to push the Bretonian team to include the human positionals and just make it a 3-for-1 team and just use the one halfling that they have in. But I think that's a bit much for now. Like, doubling up on teams I already have, it doesn't necessary. These paints are so good. They're so smooth to apply. Feels very good working with them, and because they are pre-thinned, you don't really risk leaving too many brush strokes and stuff like that. So for covering large surfaces and stuff, you can very comfortably just slather the paint all over the place, and it'll end up being very smooth at the end. Save yourself some headaches. I will be using more of them for these guys, for this batch of Goliaths. I do want to get a better handle of those paints. To get more accustomed to their ins and outs. Because right now I'm still fighting the habit to thin them out, like I did with the citadels. But in order to get a nice smooth finish, they need a lot less, if any, dilution. Which does mean that they'll probably end up a little bit quicker. But there is more in terms of quantity in each bottle, so that probably offsets the thing. I don't know, we'll see. Way too early to tell. So far I'm liking them. I'm liking them a lot. And they are currently releasing a few more colors. And might not be a bad idea to take a look. There were a few that were unavailable when I made the purchase with the original one, so I want to have all of them. Need to take a look, but I'll give it some time because they're still replenishing their quantities, and I'm not sure if Element Games is already actively working with them, because they will be the European distributor. I'll give it some time. Oh, so I still have a bunch of Citadel stuff that I need to start going through a bit more. I'd end up building some terrain and using them for it. Because I saw that the Goliaths can bring in their own terrain during a game. Stuff like barrels and barricades. So I might put in some time and scratch build some stuff. Possibly get rid of some of the building materials I've been hoarding for a while. Free up some space for more stuff. It does, yeah. When I read the rule, I giggled a little bit. Like it sounds a little bit goofy. Like, what, they'll bring their own staircase or something? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. And I saw a clip of that for the PC game that's coming out. They will be able to summon terrain out of nothing. Again, barrels and barricades and stuff, but still, it's a bit weird. And some turrets. I don't know if there are turrets, like weapon emplacements in Necromunda. But that seemed an interesting thing. Okay, I think this one was the brightest. the least covered base. I'll give them another coat. And I will really need to wash this brush after this. Because even though I never got paint anywhere near the ferrule while painting, just through the osmosis of the large bellied brush, the paint got soaked into there, and that's a bad thing to have. So some extensive washing will be required. And I also saw a really interesting thing about contrast paints. John Ninius, the second dude that does videos with the Miniac, we've talked about recently, or on a few occasions. Turns out that GW does sell just the medium for contrast paints, and that medium happens to work very well with the Pro Acryl line of paints, meaning that with their transparents at least, meaning that if I just get a bottle of medium for the contrast paints, I essentially get as many colors as I have transparents from Pro Acryl that I can also use in a lot of different opportunities different than that. And I think that might be very useful down the line, because I can then apply it for both the comic style painting for the dwarves and get a shaking monkey. Yeah, because the proceeds that are left over I can use for getting a monkey or a servitor. Yep. Did I tell you that I recently found a very large number of painting channels and painting streams that have the word monkey in them? Or some sort of ape or monkey. There's one, I think it was Monkey on Fire or something, and Gorilla with a Brush, and essentially turns out that monkeys are very common in painting. Yeah, now it. Although it doesn't matter, I will wash the hell out of those bases anyway. Okay, moving on. Still metallics, probably till all day will be just metallic. While I have the big brush out, I will paint this heavy stubber as well. It's big. Yeah, there is something wrong with this primer. It just does not like paint. It's the exact thing that you put primer on in the first place, but oh well. Let's go over it so that it does have some paint on it, and then the rest of the paint will have to catch on the paint. It's not excellent, but apparently that's how it's gonna have to be. It just slides right off. Now that the airbrush is working, I might start priming the models with the airbrush instead of the rattle can, but so much more time to spend on that. I have a couple of colors for airbrushing of primer. Gonna be a bit of a give this a moment to dry and reapply the layer. So I did start a new anime series that was suggested to me with an urban setting, contemporary fantasy, so urban with some magic and stuff. It is a little bit detective-y and crime-centric, so it's pretty much what I wanted to look for. It came really at a really good time. And it's okay, like, it's not riveting, it's not... Stuff is nice, yeah, stuff is good. Stuff and things, both okay. Part of me wants to still keep using the big brush and see how far I can get. Another part of me wants to go for a smaller brush and have a little bit more control. But I'll decide as I go. Take a look at these bases. They look alright from a distance. Do I need to go over them? I'll probably need to go over them, but for now I think I've cacked enough paint on them. I'm being at least. Right, let's try again with the stubber. Probably dry it out. Go over it. Better. Someday this is going to become a habit, but not yet, unfortunately. These little exhaust holes are a bit annoying to get through. It's okay. Got nowhere else to be. Base coating is a very, very relaxing stage as you paint on and almost immediately see a change in the whole concept of the model. a relaxing stage. Might not be the most interesting to watch, but still. Here we're still not getting any paint coverage because of the primer. Just do the same thing again. Over it. Get any amount of pigment of the paint over it. And then go over it again and again and again. But I do think that the time has come to look for another primer. It won't all be like this in the end. I will add some different colors like this pouch, the ammo case actually. It won't be at the same type of metallic at the end, but right now I'm just base coating it the same way to just have something over which to go. I haven't... The emo case, yeah. With the mandatory skull on it. In half cut. Well, it's just a skull, but I think you can make the assumption that it is based on that type of character. I don't know. Slowly we are winning over the primer. Finally. Because the paint itself can cover in one swoop. It's just that the primer doesn't like it for some reason. And granted, this is not a primer intended for water-based acrylics. It really shouldn't matter. Apparently it does, but it shouldn't. Ah, this looks so damn good. Okay, this side is done. Go to the underside. Almost there. Yeah, okay. You're not wrong. No worries. I might have limited control over this playlist, but I do have some control. Okay. Done. Alright, so anything else larger that not really. Oh, so. Yeah, let's go for the brush. I'll leave out the trims for now. Probably do them last. We maybe do the backpacks. Just capitalize on any momentum. running out of paint. Yeah, I know, right? Very confidence inspiring. And kind of embarrassing. I don't know what you mean. Doing progress, one brushstroke at a time. I think that if I keep completely assembling the models before painting them, moving to a black primer might be a better idea. That way If I miss something in the hard to reach areas, it will just look like a intentional, very deep shadow instead of the glimmering gray that you get right now. But I'm so used to painting over gray primer that, I don't know. I have to put some thought into that one. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot today, but honestly, there really isn't that much to say at this point. Kinda used up all of the talking points for the previous streams, and not that much has happened hobby-wise since. But paint is finding its way to the model. That's not horrible. That's enough on this dude. Alright. Because it's a bit annoying to just hold it in like white noise and stuff. Alright. What are you playing as? Which team did you pick? Are you still pushing with the High Elves? Dark elves, okay. Gotcha. I feel that the second part is sort of a dig towards me, but I do get the chance to stab some trolls with them assassins. Yeah. Okay. So he'll be playing more risky because of the confidence that the rerolls give him. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, for the shadowing, you mean? Yeah, absolutely. And they have a few armor 7 stuff, the assassin being one of them, of course. So stab isn't completely useless. So you can just shadow and stab someone until he finally falls over. Yeah, I would suppose that's the case. And it's a weird thing to play elves and fight in between, because they don't have anything killy by default. It's kind of a slap fight. Alright. So it's one dice all around. One die blocks all around. In the best case. I heard a weird I heard a weird opinion that Guild Ball is very skill based which felt a bit weird. Like I've literally only seen one game being played of it, but it did seem kind of dicey. I don't know why you would make that assumption. Although it was made by people who actually play the game, so I'm kind of leaning towards believing them. Again, getting back to the topic that Guild Ball was discontinued, like the support for it. No, Dread Ball, the Mantic one, was the futuristic. Guild Ball is an even smaller model count fantasy setting, but it's closer to a standard war game. No, that's the Dread Ball one. Guild Ball uses rulers and stuff to move around. It's kind of football, so you kick the ball around. It's not a hand egg situation. Yeah, it's weird. I was almost instantly deterred from it. It's just that some of the models were sort of cool, but again, they didn't make any sense in a sports-like environment. So that game kind of remained a total mystery to me, and it did have a very small following. But the ones that did follow it and play it kind of stick to their guns. Might see some battle reports for it just to get a better idea. I'm not looking to start it or anything, it's just curious as to what alternatives have been out. But it definitely did not grab me when it came out, and there was some more exposure to it. Tearing these brushes apart, this is not good. But they'll handle it, I hope. That's alright. The game needs to have a conclusion, so... And especially if it's in your favor. Alright. How many did you manage to take off the field? Whoa! Dude, that's almost half the team. Wait. Ashy elves, who would have known? Ah, sweet. Let the crowd deal with it. No need to get your own hands dirty. Surfy, surfy. is a very weird piece. Everyone has it. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Maybe a locking mechanism of some sort. But it's asymmetrical. It's only on one side. And all of the body builds have it. Ouch, 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 ouch. Is he going to concede, you think? Oh, right, right. Because people that tend to, oh, okay. Rage quit. Usually do it at around this time. But since he's a Dark Elf player. Oh, alright. Okay, so one more dude and we are done with the backpacks. We can move on to something else. Probably whatever part of the weapons I can get my hands on. And that'll probably be that. This is an interesting stage. Batch base coding the things. Because while it does seem slow and a little bit on the tedious side, when it's done, you kind of don't feel the progress, but when it's done, it's like, okay, wow, I actually have all of the base colors on 4 models. And from that point on, it's just working out the details and highlighting and shading and all that, but it's actually going to help a lot. And since I'm just doing 4 models, it's not really burning me out to do it. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But the fact that it is just 4 models helps a lot. Like if I was doing the, let's say the Bretonians. Yeah, I was just getting to that. That I still haven't reached the stage of painting the trims, the metallic trims around the armor. That might, if I have to do that for 4 models in a row, that might break my heart a little bit. Which is why I'm trying to focus on the larger details. But we'll see. I mean, it's worth the experiment. Because the last time I tried anything like that, it was with the humans team, and I really took a lot of time to get them painted like that. And I, believe it or not, back then I painted even slower than I am right now. So we'll see it. There might just be something in there about that. We'll see. It's worth the experiment anyway, so I'm gonna go through with it. First and only level up, lineman 11. Well, I mean, it's not horrible. That's an agi up. You can fire the runner at this point. Unless you want to use them for an extra reroll or something. No? What are you thinking? Block, wrestle? Dodge? No, okay. Get some efficiency. Yeah, I wonder as well what would be the efficient and optimal way for lineman builds. Because I just went the standard linemen's, like one wrestle just to have, one block just to have. The agi up that I ended up getting after my game with Richard, I gave him the agi and I fired the runner, but he was a movement busted runner, so I really just wanted to get him out of the picture. So yeah, I do have one less reroll now, but I think Dark Elves can live on 2 rerolls. Especially at this stage where the important pieces already have dodge, so the thing that I would reroll, it's actually built into them already. I think it wasn't a bad choice. And of course, saying that, just look at how, just wait and see how I will need that reroll desperately. Whatever I say, Murphy hears every time. Yeah, exactly. Of course, in Blood Bowl we can always blame it on Nuffle, but I did not think of that. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. Yeah, you could either use him as a retriever or just as a, I don't know, ball carry to do long passes and stuff instead of the runner. As well, I really like the idea of dump off. Yeah, but that way you have a very easy way for a long pass. I don't know. Haven't really put that much thought into it really. Yeah, I suppose. I was just about to say that while dump off looked very cool in theory, I think I got to use it 3 times over the course of 2 seasons. Yeah, you're right. Maybe you can just have him there and build him into something else, something useful with Agi. Yeah, no, when you do get to use it, it's usually great. Unless the opponent bases your entire cage. Because then you get the catch penalties for tackle zones no matter where you throw the ball, and it may end up doing more harm than good. But if you do have an uncovered, an open cage corner, yeah, you can just pass it and just dump it off and be. Oh, okay. Well, if it works out. I think that's what they call confirmation bias. Yeah, exactly. Hello, right. I mean, I don't know what the exact positioning was, so either way, if it worked out in your favor, that's what matters. Okay, so backpacks have all been painted. What's next up? Maybe the tubes. The tubes look quick to do. Let's see if there's anything larger than that I can go through real quick. Yeah, tubes, maybe the braces, the arm guards, the weapons. Yeah, there is stuff that I can sort of blitz through. Yep, that'll be cool. Keep wondering about the tubes. I'm going very simplistic for them, and I think that there is more that I could have done in general. Like for this batch and the previous one, I think it's done, but I don't know, maybe hazard stripes would have looked good. No idea, really. I'm not being very imaginative with most of the details that could have a little bit of an artsy approach to them. Well, if not artsy, just a little bit more interesting. Just for instance, on this axe, I've seen a lot of things being done. I saw one dude painting the axe like a fiery mohawk coming out of the skull. And I saw another one where hazard stripes were painted on this this red part here. Whereas I'm just gonna keep it red and highlighted, and that'll be that. I think there were some missed opportunities along the way. I saw some really nice, bright Goliaths with a lot of black lining. Let me see if I can find them real fast. Because I think you'll like them. And they are pretty good, like, objectively. Okay. No worries. I currently don't have any plans for either of the weekend or either of the evenings, so not a problem. Guess he didn't tag them. Boo. Oh well. Oh, there are some gorgeous pieces, by the way. Yeah. Alright, so cubes. Get it done. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, things in general, like here as well, are getting a bit iffy. The future is not bright, let's put it that way. We did get a new subway line though. It was... today was its opening. So that's nice. Yeah, for a moment, it could spark very brightly for a moment. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I don't think they would use them, but still. Just the fact that they're there. I'm not really into it. I mean, I'm not informed. I haven't caught up on these events, so I'm not really... I mean, whatever you say. Not unthinkable. Yeah, this year has been special. Special. Very special year. Sounded a lot like Scandroid, but it wasn't. Maybe it's a new project of his. Clayton's, that is. Was just about to say that this guy doesn't have a tube, but he does. Yeah, pretty much. Bit more paint will help things along. Alrighty, thanks for being here, and have a lovely rest of your evening, and just let me know when you have some spare time to play a game. We got a little bit more time. Might as well finish what we have started. They are coming along little by little. Yeah, not really going lightning fast here, but still. Compound progress. One brushstroke at a time. I think I'll definitely apply this method to future projects that are not one-off models, but like this, like sectioning off details as opposed to thematically going through all of one model and then all of the other the same color. Might yield better results. Although you will be seeing a bit more of this. Don't find that interesting. Be a problem. Because I am nowhere near done. Way I see it, depending on how much time I get to paint off stream over the weekend, and tomorrow really, because tomorrow is a day where I can do some off-stream stuff. But still, I think that there will be at least one more base coating stream. Or maybe I'll just explode in productivity and get everything done before Monday. We can start off with some flash tones. that might be cooler to watch. Yo, Chris, what's up? How you doing, man? Oh, that's good to hear. Done with work for the day? Okay, okay. Well, hopefully it's a productive and not too stressful of a day. I'm just putting some boring old base coats here. By far not the most entertaining stage, but still, it needs to get done. And to make things worse, I decided to batch paint these guys. Thankfully there's just 4 of them, but still. Do take time. But when this is done, at least all going to be color buildups and detail work and pretty much things that would be a little bit more interesting. Although I have to say, it is a very relaxing stage to do, like for me. You can work a little bit messier, broader brush strokes, and it's also the stage where you get the fastest way some instant gratification, because you pretty much instantaneously see a change in the model, so kind of pushes you to go forth. You're not bogged down on a certain highlight or a certain shadow or a certain crevice that you're just slaving over. Much time we got? About 15 minutes left. I think I can squeeze in, let's say, the belts, the back buckles on the belts. Should be easy enough and quick enough. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, no worries, dude. Like, more than enough the fact that you got to think of me during your your busy work day, it's very much appreciated. Was just saying that while not the most interesting of stages, the base coding. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, for real. Need just a drop of paint. Yeah. Bit of a weird one. That was what I was getting to. That while it's sort of, well, I wouldn't say overlooked part of it. It's still sort of fun to do because it's the quickest way that you start seeing changes to your model, like that instant gratification type stuff. Because you start to see where your colors will be, what they will look like, sort of. And it kind of pushes you on. Indeed, yeah, yep. Get things done in a nice opaque coverage, and you can call it done. Yeah, you're definitely right here. And I'm right now doing everything in my power to delay the inevitable fact that I will have to go through all of the armor rims, all of the armor trims, and all of these guys. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But it is a very relaxing stage. In fact, I'm thinking about... Alright, thank you again for dropping by, and have a productive and non-stressful rest of your day, dude. Thanks. Yeah, that'll be annoying. Because I couldn't really think of a decent way to do it. The way I decided to treat the metallics for this project, I'm probably gonna need to go over these rims like 3 times. Maybe 4. And there is a chance that a chunk of my soul will die during this process, but it is just 4 models. I mean, what am I complaining about? Not even an army. People do this for Alpha Legion with the gold trims on the black armor for 150 dudes. I can do it for 4. And also, it's base coating is also a very nice way to quickly train your brush control and just speed up your painting overall. As in, it's a good exercise within the actual project. Especially if you decide to not go messy about it and try and nail everything from the first pass. Which I'm apparently not doing. But that's alright. Some corrections here and there. And cleanup, good as new. Also, these Pro Acryls have sped up things tremendously, like being able to work with pre-thinned, sort of pre-thinned paints. Just slather the color over and usually covers with one, maximum two passes. So it's been a lifesaver. There are two new colors that are coming out, and I do have some of the old ones that I never got to order because they were out of stock. So once they get into a good bit of production back again, I'll definitely fill out all of the missing ones. Trying to move away from the citadels. I do have quite a bit of them though, so been thinking about starting to build some terrain, some scratch build stuff, because I've got bunches of resources stored here that it'll be a two birds with one stone situation, so I will get to both clean up a little bit of the hoarding stuff and get to use up some of the paints that I'm trying to transition away from. That'll be cool. Although at what point I'll get any time to start scratch building terrain, considering I've never done it, is a entirely different matter, but the idea is there, and so is the will to do it. Gotta fit it in that clock that only has 24 hours in it. And somewhere in between the painting projects that have been stacking up. Trying to sort of veto myself from getting more until I get at least a chunk out of them done. Not doing very well on that. Gonna be honest. With the Fraggin' Unicorns Kickstarter that's gonna release its pledge manager around Saturday. Then the Dark Future Creations Kickstarter that hasn't even been announced yet, but it's pending. Definitely gonna jump on that train. At least for one model, for sure. But it's never gonna be just the one model. Either way, I think that that'll be that. from me for tonight. Don't really think that there is a point to raid with like a couple of people. When I get a few more, maybe then. For now, I'm just gonna call it for tonight. Thanks again for coming along, and see you soon. And to anyone out there watching as well, keep doing what you love and loving what you do. I've been Bachacolio, signing out. Yeah.